It feels like I have just witnessed a crime because I just saw a 58-year-old man just lose to a 20-something-year-old young, strong man. And you're probably wondering, why are you so shocked? Why are you so mad? Because isn't it obvious that someone who is in their 20s, someone who is very young, very energetic, and still very fit is beating someone who is nearing 60, someone who is 58 years old and who has had many health risks, who has had many health scares, and just as recently he even had an ulcer flare-up just earlier this year that actually postponed this fight. But unfortunately this fight still happened. Unfortunately, the boxing gods, they did not hold back on us tonight, because they gave us one of the most boring fights I have ever seen in my life. They gave us one of the most painful fights to watch ever in anyone's experience of living, and that is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. And to be honest with you, once this fight was announced last year, I'm going to be very honest in saying this, I knew that Mike Tyson was going to lose. And now this is not me even remotely defending Jake Paul in any way. This is just reality. Once you are in your mid to late 50s, once you are nearing the 60-year-old mark, you are not going to be as athletic as you once were when you were in your 30s and even in your mid 40s. You know, you can still be very athletic when you're in your mid 40s, but once you really pass age 54 and 5, that's when your body is starting to slow down. That's when your bones are starting to get weaker. That's when you are starting to be an old shell of yourself, and that's okay. That's how life is. But unfortunately, we have to see our great icon, Mike Tyson, have to fall for the money trap that many old, retired MMA fighters and boxers, they fell for the same trap, and that is Jake Paul. Mike Tyson should have never accepted this fight. Now, shame on Jake Paul and for anyone who actually let this fight go underway, because why are you willingly letting a 58-year-old man, a senior citizen, someone who can be a grandpa right now, why did you let this happen? And why did you let someone who was so young and who was so fit face someone like Mike Tyson? And I'm pretty sure they all knew the implications around this, because this will completely tarnish Mike Tyson's legacy. Because prime Iron Mike Tyson, I'm going to say this right now, prime Iron Mike Tyson is unbeatable. Even though, yes, he has lost fights in his career, his prime form, when he was ruthless, when he was brutal, when he was knocking people out left and right, that prime Iron Mike Tyson would destroy, will absolutely kill someone like Jake Paul in seconds if this were the 1980s and the 1990s. But we are in 2024 and Mike Tyson is 58 years old. I cannot preface this. He is 58 years old, and Jake Paul, he is known to target people who are nearing senior citizen, and he targets people who are actually senior citizens. He has beaten Anderson Silva, who is a very old man when he faced Jake Paul. He beat Ben Askren, who was washed, and he's a very old man. He has defeated many other old people, and not just that, he defeats people who are washed, like Tyron Woodley. You know, Tyron Woodley, he wasn't that old when he faced Jake, but Tyron Woodley was washed at that point. He lost 5 fights before facing Jake, and you know, when he faced Jake the first time, he now lost the second time, and the second time was embarrassing when he got dropped and he was literally face down on the canvas sleeping. So thank God that did not happen to Mike. Thank God that Mike did not get dropped down in this fight. Thank God that he did not get knocked out in any way. But this fight was boring as fuck. It was so sad seeing Mike not throw a single punch throughout any round. Like, there were a couple rounds where Mike was just literally just standing there and standing and dodging and doing nothing. And it was sad seeing that Jake was even tagging Mike sometimes. Jake even clipped Mike sometimes. But thank God Mike didn't get dropped, because it still showcases the strength of Mike even at an old age. And even though Jake won, Jake should not think that he is cooler after this. Jake should not think that he has gained any cool brownie points. Jake should not think that he is on top of the world. He should not think that he is any king, that he is any champion, because a real champion will fight people that are of his age and of his caliber. Because even though Mike, he is the legend, he is the great knockout artist that Mike is, he is still an old man, and it is very shameful, very disgusting. It is very, in my honest opinion, evil to actually coax Mike to get him out of his retirement, to actually persuade Mike to get him out of his retirement just for a measly $20 million. Even though Jake, he will earn $40 million of this fight, Mike will just earn only $20 million of that, and he lost. So in my honest opinion, Jake should not feel that he is cool, that he is great after this, because this is embarrassing. He cannot even knock out a 58-year-old man. And let's remember the last 2 times that Jake actually faced a real boxer. The first time he faced a real boxer was Tommy Fury, and when he faced Tommy Fury, he lost Tommy Fury. He lost to an actual real boxer that isn't some MMA fighter, that isn't some basketball player. Now, the other boxer that he faced, sure, yeah, he won that fight, but it still was a fact that the first time he faced an actual boxer, he lost. So we see Jake going back to the drawing board, going back to what actually draws and sells money for someone like him, someone who is leeching off of boxing and who is making a mockery of boxing, in my honest opinion. And he has targeted Mike Tyson. He has made Mike Tyson fall for the trap, and unfortunately it has worked. And this was just a sad affair to watch, a disgusting affair, in my opinion, that should be a crime. This should have never been allowed. Who is next for Jake Paul? Because we see he has a pattern of challenging old people to fight. So is Mel Brooks next? Mel Brooks is 98 years old. Is Jimmy Carter next? Jimmy Carter is 100 years old. Is Joe Biden next? Is Bernie Sanders next? Is William Shatner next? Is William Daniels next? Is Robert Wagner next? Jake Paul, he has shown that he has no problem with fighting anybody who's old, man. So don't be surprised if he fights all these people and he knocks them out, or he beats them in the boxing fight, man. But that's the end of the video. What do you guys think of the fight? I watched the worst fight I've ever seen in my history. That's the end of the video. I'm out. Peace.